Hey there, everybody. So in this one, we're going to be talking about changing the materials of other objects, and I'm going to show you how to do that with a trigger. So if you watch right here, I can go through this awesome sci-fi door, walk up to the sphere, and as soon as I hit it, look, you can see everything in my level has turned to gold. So you might be asking, how could I do this? How can I make a collision change the material on another object? I'm going to show you right now. So on the gold sphere blueprint, you can see I have right here. I'm going to open up its blueprint and drag it on over. I'm going to explain what's going on. So this blueprint comprises of a sphere, which is a static mesh. It's got a particle system, just to make it a little fancy, and it's got a sphere collider. So if you go to components, you'd come down, you would see collision. I can just type collision and a sphere collision. Okay, so in the event graph, that sphere collider, again, you can add an event for on overlap. When the player, my character, my character is just a type of character, which is a type of pawn. If the thing that overlaps that sphere is of the type of character that I am, I go through every actor in the world, get all actors of class, and the type of class I'm looking for is actor. And this is kind of like the parent class to almost everything that's placeable in Unreal. So it's kind of like gets everything. It's kind of not very efficient, but it works for our needs. And then for all the things it finds, what it does is it goes for each one of those things, and each one of those things, so this has got a giant list, measures 100 things, it takes one at a time. So the first thing, second thing, third thing. So imagine we're on the first thing. It takes that and gets the component of that actor, because actors can be made of multiple components, kind of like this blueprint is. And it looks for if any of those components are static mesh components. And if it does have a static mesh component, for let's say that the object has multiple static mesh components on it, for each one of those, we then loop through, okay? So at this point, we have an object made of multiple static meshes or one. For how many static meshes that it has, we then take that static mesh component and we get the number of materials that are assigned to it. Because a static mesh can have more than one material, multiple mat IDs. So we just want to confirm that we get all the materials if we want to make sure everything changes. So I can use get number of materials. And then for each one of those materials, I do a for loop. And you might be asking, why do I have this -1 here? Because if this returned 2, imagine there was 2 materials on an object. This would be, it would go 0, and then there'd be 2 here. So it would go 0, 1, 2, which is actually 3. So this is like a little trick with arrays. So we just do -1 so that we do like 1, 2. So 0, 1, that's 2. And then we use a set material node, and we plug that into this element, which again is the static mesh element. And the target is again that static mesh component, okay? And then we're plugging in a material, and I have this thing called my gold material, all right? Am I asking what's my gold material? Where'd you get that from? Well, if we go to event begin play, you can see right here, I have a node called create dynamic material instance, which allows us just to be a little bit more control over making a material kind of like in runtime. And we could actually change parameters and things like that. But here you can see I just had made a material, which you could make yourself. I happen to be using a material instance. It shouldn't matter. You can use just this standard material, anything you make. And then off of that, I just set it to a variable. So off these return pins, you can click on this and it should just say promote to variable. And then that'll create this, and I named it, okay? And that's how we're getting what you saw when we go up and we change everything once I walk into it. Now I might be asking, well, what if I don't want to change everything? Because like you can see it broke the sky. Like it's just not super great. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. Let's close this temporarily. And what I want to show you is this idea of tags. So I have a mesh over here, and I'm going to close this little error. And what you can see is when we click on any object, and this just happens to be a static mesh actor, but again, we're at the actor level. If I scroll down, actually, I'm going to do something. We're going to search in its details for tag. And I want to show you something. There's 2 different tags here, component tag and tags, actor tags. So the thing you're going to be looking for is actor tags. Component tags is kind of like a way to separate if, like, let's say you had a blueprint that had 2 static meshes in it. and you were doing like a get all static mesh components, like you could tag some, and then like other ones you could tag and you could separate it. We won't go into that. The thing you're looking for is tags under actor tags, okay? And if you can see on this one over here, when I click on it, I actually added just a little string, just a word. It's called change to gold. So I'm gonna copy that text, and on this one over here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click this little plus, okay, which is what you would do. And you're gonna just type in whatever you want, whatever words, but I just happen to type in change to gold, okay? And I'm gonna go back to my blueprint over here, my gold sphere, open it back up. And this time, the only difference I'm gonna do, before we checked the overlap, made sure it's the character, got all the actors, for each one of those actors, we get this, if it has a static mesh component, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get every static mesh, but this time we're gonna do a check. So I'm going to come off the loop body for every mesh. And if this mesh right here, right, this actor has the tag, and then again, you would just paste in right here in this tag, you would type in what that is. If it has this tag, then I want you to execute. If not, do nothing. So all that means is when we go to play, hit play, you'll see now, come into my level, open the door, come over here, run in the sphere, you see nothing really changed, but now those two cubes have only changed. So you could selectively add a tag to different meshes in your level to have them change their material once you collided with them. So hopefully this gives you an idea of how to handle doing some material changing, especially based on collision inside of Unreal Engine. So again, if you like this, just add a like to the video. And again, thanks to Chris Games for pointing out that we should have made a video for it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.